you perhaps later about the next session that you're going to do about English language programming. So we'll touch base about that, and then we can let the audience know that that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So we have to unmute all the participants because this, if we have all people talking, there will be distractions as well as it will affect the bandwidth. So forgive us for this. And please be patient with us. So we are getting more people. And hopefully we started to be live on Facebook. So we'll start within seconds. You see my screen?
Not on Facebook, not yet.
Yep. Okay, so great. So we are ready to start. Forgive us for the delay.
Oh, no, I'm not seeing the presentation as Seal.
Yes, I'll have it now.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Great. So let's start. And so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today in our second virtual session. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your patience. And please try to be patient with us because this is our first live session. Our first session was school counselors, just an introduction. So today we have a session on English language requirements, whether they are a barrier to study in the States, in coordination with Portland State University. I am Asil, and I would like to introduce you to our team. I will start with myself and then move on to our team members as well as our presenter. So I'm Asil Lorgaili. I'm an education advisor at the Public Affairs Section, U.S. Embassy in Qatar. And I joined the team very recently, just in March. And I hope to be in touch with you on and provide you with services. And you will see, you will get some information about the platforms you can use to follow us, as well as the emails that you can use in order to send your inquiries to us. So I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Paula.
Hi, I'm Paula Masad. I'm the English Language and Education Advisor at the U.S. Embassy. I've been with the Embassy since August, and I'm really excited to help Asil with this program and to launch a few programs later in June and into July. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'm going also to introduce you to our presenter, Samudra Kugel. Go ahead, Samudra.
Oh, hi. My name is Samudra Kugel. I'm from Portland State University, Portland, Oregon. And I have been with Portland State University. This is my 7th year. So I'm I'm honored to speak to you today. And thank you so much, Education USA, for hosting this event.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to do this and talk to our audience. So we will start with this session is about whether English language fluency is required, or is it a barrier to start or apply to study in the States? we would like to introduce, you get introduced to our team, myself, Paula, and also we have our supervisor and the head of our team, Karima. She's our public diplomacy officer. We would like also to introduce you to Education USA website, where you can find different types of resources on studying in the States. And what you see on the screen are the 5 steps. So any student willing to study in the States, they need to read as much as possible about the 5 steps to study in the States. Like they need to know that they need to research their option, find how to finance their study, how to do the application and complete it, and how to apply for the visa, as well as to prepare for their department or major. So on this website, which is Education USA, you can find a wealth of resources. So it's educationusa.state.gov. You will have those 5 steps and details on each one of them. And also in the future, if you are interested or if you are a school counselor, you can reach out to us to do a presentation on all those steps or any one of them individually. And there are also some other resources for advisors as well as counselors and students. So we encourage you to go and visit this website. Also, you are so much welcome to follow us on our social media platforms. So we have our Facebook page. We have the Facebook page of the embassy, as well as the Facebook page of our team, Education USA Qatar team. We have Instagram of the embassy. We have Twitter, embassy, and Education USA. On those social media platforms, you will find lots of announcements on our future events, future webinars, and programs. And inshallah, when things get back to normal, we would do in person as well. So you will find lots of resources and also announcements on webinars and sessions that are done regionally by some other centers, Education USA centers in other countries. You will find also videos that have information, explanations on visas, scholarship information. So, sorry. So this is the these are the resources that you can find. Please feel free to reach out to us whenever you need any information or a specific session.
Can I start sharing?
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead. So now I'm going to turn it over to Samudra. She will start her presentation on English language programs.
Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So today I'm going to talk about are English language requirements a barrier to study in the US? So you may say yes, you may say no, I'm perfect at English, or I meet the minimum requirements, great. But those of you either afraid or thinking about this question or don't want to even ask anybody. So today I'm here to answer your questions and talk about your study, how to accomplish your study abroad or getting a US degree dream, how to make that happen, even though whatever the level you are at right now. So again, this is me. I'm the Associate Director of Outreach and Admissions at Intensive English Language Program here at Portland State, and we are an academic department on campus. And just a little bit about giving an introduction to Portland State University. We are in Oregon, state of Oregon, and south of Portland and north of San Francisco. So we are about 3.5 hours, depending on the traffic, driving from Seattle. And San Francisco, about 9-hour drive, but 1.5 hours, maybe the Oh, just a second. Presentation mode.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Not sure why. Okay. From San Francisco, about hour and a half a flight. So from Qatar, as far as I know, there's Qatar Airlines and flying to West Coast, and then there's easy flights we have from main destinations in the West Coast, and we are very close to Pacific Ocean. So today I'm actually going to talk about, in very general, what are the requirements as an undergraduate student or a graduate student in the US. And in US, we have different types of universities. So we have community colleges, which are 2-year programs that you can get an associate degree. And then if you like to get a 4-year degree, you can transfer to a 4-year university. So that's one of the way the students can study and get a degree. And there are 4-year universities, and there are public universities and private universities in the US. And Portland State University, we are a public university with about 30,000 students, undergraduates and graduates. So I just want audience to know there are different types of universities in the US, and we have more than 4,000 universities. So there are community colleges, and then there's 4-year universities. They're private and public. And then also we do have most of the 4-year universities awarding master's or PhD degrees. So just give you an overview. So the students come to US to do different things. Some students come to do associate degree, a bachelor 4-year degree, or master's or PhD. Oh, I just wanted to kind of tell you right now, before we talk about this undergraduate requirement, if you are really happy with in your country getting a degree at one of your universities, that's perfectly fine. But if you still wanted to have experience in the US, it is still possible. You can, most of the universities in the US will love to welcome you for short-term programs. So you can come for 1 year, study abroad, or 3 months, or even at Portland State, we have a 3-week or 1-week programs. So think about broader, think about not just degree seeking. There are ways for you to just come and experience a US university too. So, but just dive into undergraduate requirements. So these are some of the common requirements I'm going to talk about. Again, it can change from university to university. But high school GPA, that is very important. That means if you have your transcripts from your high school, that is the GPA that the US universities mostly looking at. And most of the universities you will hear that they will say 3.0. That is the minimum requirement. It can change, just like I said, university to university, but commonly it's 3.0, which is from 4.0 a scale. So if your grading system that if it is different, that we have our experts in our undergraduate admission counselors or the people who read the application. The committee, they're very familiar with each country in the world. So you don't need to do, the only thing you need to do, most of the universities in the US, get a translated copy if it is not in English. So as long as at Portland State University, as long as you have a translated copy, we are happy to read your transcript and let you know you meet the minimum GPA requirement. So I would encourage you to contact the universities you want to apply. When I say universities, I would recommend our students to at least pick 7 or 8 universities. I would recommend that you have an Excel sheet in your computer, and when you are researching universities, go to their website, and in your Excel sheet, you can have a column. What is the GPA column? What is the English requirement? What is the cost of the program? Are there scholarships? All these, and the location. All those information for 7 or 8 universities, I would recommend for you to gather. And then you have all that information in one place, and then you can talk to your parents and figure out, is this university match with your budget? And do you have the GPA requirement? Do you have the English proficiency? So just to kind of give you a simple tip that how can you organize yourself, because there are universities, it can change one university to another. So let's move on to English language proficiency. So this can, again, this is a requirement for undergraduate requirement for most of the US universities. So at Portland State, it's Toefl 71 IBT, computer based. And also we accept IELTS, and we accept Pearson's test, and recently we are piloting Duolingo test. So you will hear that each university will give you a menu of different English language tests that they accept. So you can get that score and put in your Excel sheet just to make sure that you're aware of what's the minimum requirement. So selective universities that you may hear, the Ivy League universities or the UCs in California, or there are other prestigious universities, a private, public, both, they may get thousands and thousands of applications during their application cycle. So those universities, obviously they can't admit all thousands of people. So in that case, they have to be, they consider themselves a very selective universities. So they have to have additional criteria. So for example, they may ask for you to write a personal statement. And that means they may not be able to interview every single applicant, but the essay you write or the personal statement you write, that will be your interview. And also they may ask for recommendation letters, which means that the people, your instructors from high school, they know you, your math teacher, English teacher, or your principal or your counselor can be the person writing recommendation letters. So, they may ask some of the essay questions. I know that University of California system, they give you a prompt and then you have to answer. So just to give you an idea, those are some requirement selective universities asking. And Portland State University, we call ourselves, it's a state university, public university. And we are access university. That means as long as you meet the minimum requirements, we accept you. So that's, there are many universities, especially state universities, that have that type of admission criteria. That means as long as you meet the minimum GPA, English language proficiency, minimum score, that you get admission. So it's very, very straightforward. So let's talk about just briefly about graduate requirements. So if you're currently in the audience, if you're an undergraduate student, and looking for graduate schools, or if you're a professional working right now, and if you wanted to pursue a master's or a PhD in the future. So these are some of the common requirements. It's a GPA from undergraduate, so your university GPA. And then again, the English language proficiency test. And you may have heard about GRE and GMAT. Those are two standardized tests that, especially the GRE, that's for mainly for humanities or STEM majors, that most of the graduate schools require GRE. And if you wanted to do an MBA, any business related, that GMAT may be the exam you need to take. So those are the two examinations that you should check with the university that you wanted to apply, and ask them, or go to their website and ask them what is your first question to ask them. I would recommend, do you require GRE or GMAT? I mean, if you can find by yourself, that's great from their website. But if you have an opportunity to talk to a counselor from that specific university, you just ask, what is your score? What is your requirement with GRE, GMAT? And then a personal statement. That's again, just like I said, really important. And in the future, I'm happy to give a workshop with Education USA personal statement writing. That may be a really important topic to talk about, because students may be wondering how to write one. So today we don't have time to go in depth, but that may be something in the future we can do together. And professional and academic references, just like I said, that the recommendation letters, but in this level, if you're a currently undergraduate student at a university in Qatar, or if you are a working professional, that a professional, these references can come from, if you're a working professional, can come from your supervisor or somebody, your colleague that know your work. And if you're an undergraduate current student, that your professors are going to be the best reference writers. Or it can be, if you have done internship, your internship supervisor can be your reference writing person. Okay, so let's see. So let's talk about a theme of our today talk. It is the English language proficiency. So in this presentation, we'll be talking a lot about English language proficiency related talks. The next slides we will be talking more about. So just to give you idea that Portland State University as an example, just like I said, this can change from university to university. And at Portland State University, it's IELTS 6.0, and that is the minimum requirement. And then TOEFL, it's 71, and then the graduate, and it's 6.5. You can see it's a little bit higher, and TOEFL 80. And there are universities may ask for TOEFL 100 or 80. So it's just changed from institution to institution, or it could be even graduate level. It can change from program to program. Okay, so this is the biggest question today in our presentation. What are my options if I don't have these scores? So many universities can grandly say this is the minimum requirement. But if you don't have that, after some universities may say that, oh, you have to maybe retake the test, or students may decide to take give the test examination multiple times. I know my personal experience, I have had students take TOEFL tests like 10 times. But today I just wanted to talk about, other than repeating the test over and over, US universities, some US universities do have some type of program. In my university, we call it pathway program. Some other universities, that may be a different name, but the idea is the same. That means if you're a student, you don't meet the minimum language requirement, they may provide you a different programming to improve your English and admit you to that university. So, so that's what I mainly wanted to talk to you about, and kind of give you an idea that what are the ways that you can still accomplish your goals. So let's talk about undergraduate pathway program. So this is what we call at Portland State University. This is the program that students don't meet. That's 71 of TOEFL for undergraduate students. This is the program that we offer to those students. So still, you can come to Portland State, you can be a student just like a regularly admit student, but you will be a pathway student before you fully matriculate to Portland State University. And other universities, the program can be a different name. So I would recommend that you contact, I want all of you to come to Portland State, but there are 4,000 some universities in the US, right? So just to be fair, that it's really important to do your research, just like I said. So when you're doing research and having a communication with the admission officer at that specific university, ask them, unfortunately, I don't meet your language requirement. I'm 5 points below. Is there any other program that I can participate other than me repeating the TOEFL or IELTS test over and over? So that's the question. I'm giving you a question to ask today. So that's my tip or the take-home message for you. So ask that question. Don't be afraid. Just ask that question by email or by phone, or if you meet admission counselors at your country, maybe Education USA have a fair that they organize. When you come to those fairs, or the admission counselors may come to your high school, for example. So when you meet these people or email them, just ask this question. So they're happy to provide you information if they have this type of program. Okay, so at Portland State, where I'm from, so I know the information. So today I can share that as an example for you. So we do have a 6-month pathway program and 9-month pathway program, and also we call pre-pathway program. So if you just as an example, let's talk about a TOEFL. So just like I said, Portland State, the minimum requirement is 71, right? So if you receive your score, for example, 65, so you will be part of 6-month pathway program. And the good news there is at Portland State University, there's no other special application process. So you apply, you go online, you apply to Portland State University as an undergraduate student. When it comes to English language requirement question, you have 65, and you will be automatically placed in 6-month pathway program. So this is not a program you need to apply or anything like that. So with your current English score, you can apply. And the 9-month pathway program, it's 50. So it's between 50 and 60. So anybody who received the TOEFL score between 50 and 60 will be automatically placed 9 months. And then 60 and 71, you will be automatically placed in 6 months pathway program. And then you may ask, oh, I have met personally these type of students. They are very bright, academically great students, but they are afraid to take test, standardized test. And you know who you are. You may be a bad test taker. It's not really bad thing. You may be super smart, but you get test anxieties and you simply don't like to take tests. So those type of students, we have a program called pre-pathway program. So you don't even ever need to take a TOEFL or IELTS. If you're applying to Portland State undergraduate program, you don't have to take any test, that you could apply to Portland State without an English language a test score. So that's a good news for those type of students I mentioned earlier. The students who don't like to give the test, or they consider themselves they're bad at taking tests. Or the students who took the test 1 time or 2 times and they scored below 50. So those are the students we place in our pre-pathway program. So hopefully you get an idea that any level you're at, you can be placed at Portland State University, as long as you academically meet our minimum GPA requirement, which is 3.0. So what will happen for these pre-pathway programs? So when they get admitted, we will offer them to take our placement test, which is, we have 6 levels, 0 to level 5. So we will place them according to their test score. The students, the good news, before even they leave cutoff, they can take the test online. So the students can, at home, they can take the test and see that whether they need to study 6 months with us, 9 months with us, or 12 months, or whatever. It depends on their score. And each level, it's 3 months. So that's, you can have an idea that what's the duration of time, depend on the 3 months. Each term is a 3 months, a block. So that's about pre-pathways. So also another really good news, 6 months pathway and 9 month pathway program, that if you are being accepted, when you come to Portland State, that there's no change. So some of the universities, they may have you take another test and adjust your placement. But at Portland State, that when you come, you get admitted to 6 months pathway program, and you know that's financial wise, that's the money you have, and there's no change, unless obviously you fail one of the terms or fail classes. That's a different scenario, but let's hope positive, nothing like that will happen. Okay, so 6 months pathway program, this is the your study of the plan of study, that term 1, so there's 2 terms for 6 months, and then 9 months, 3 terms. So the other really great thing about these pathway programs, you will be earning Portland State in our case, and other universities, please check with specifically. You can, if you're looking for this type of program, that ask for, are they awarding credits for when you get admitted fully to the university? So at Portland State, all our pathway program classes are credit bearing. That means this will be transcribed in your transcript. And depending on the degree that you will, we can tell you, or you will know that how many credits will be articulate to your degree. So, but again, please ask the university you're applying, are these credit bearing? So I'm giving you another question for you to ask people, admission people. So, and Portland State, start in a second term that you can see, you can take a Portland State class, actually 2 classes. It's optional, but you can take, the second class is optional, but you can take Portland State class. That means these are all ESL classes or pathway classes, and which help you to, so the goal of the pathway program to make you ready to sit in a Portland State regular academic class and understand the academic content and able to take the exams, able to write a paper, able to give a presentation. So all the things that you need to do in your classroom, that these pathway classes will help you to get into that level and able to be successfully take a course. So that's pretty much, we are preparing you for to take academic classes. So the Portland State class, it can be math, it can be business, accounting, whatever. Our advisors will work with you and figure out, we have academic advisors and we have our own pathway advisors. So they will work with you to figure out which classes you will be taking while you're in pathway program. And 9-month pathway program, little longer, but so the first term, it's mostly pathway ESL classes. And then term 2, you're allowed to take PSU 2 classes if you like. And then term 3, again, you're taking more pathway classes, and then you can take up to 2 PSU classes if you like. So this is, again, getting you prepared. This is the academic preparation program that prepare you because you did not get the minimum score. Regardless, even sometimes if you even get the minimum score to get direct admitted, this program, in my opinion, that prepare you for a US classroom. And tuition, you maybe, I know I saw a chat box, a question, people ask about, a student ask about the cost. So this is the a pathway program cost. And so the 6 months pathway program, it's depend on how many PSU classes you're taking. Just like I said, you can take 1 or 2. So it's between 12,370 and 14,650. And then 9 months pathway program, 18,580 and 23,140. So which means it depends on your how many PSU classes you're taking. And pre-pathway program, it's 5,714, which assuming you're not taking any PSU classes because you need to go, it depends on your levels. So, and our website have a very extensive way of talking about the tuition and fees and everything. I encourage you to look at. And also Portland State University admission, undergraduate admission webpage, you can find the tuition for Portland State as a direct admit student. So I encourage you to look. And then I encourage you to look all the other universities that you're choosing to be in your short list of universities you're considering. Okay, let's talk about graduate pathway program. This is a little bit different. Obviously, in the US, graduate schools are competitive. So that means not everybody who's applying will get admitted. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be super selective university. Even a state university like Portland State, we get many graduate applications, and it is a department selection process. So the department will decide who they wanted to admit. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview about graduate, but if you have questions, you can later talk to me about. And there are two different things you can do as a graduate student. You can first apply. I'm going to summarize this slide. You can apply to Portland State, for example, if you wanted to study TESOL, the Teaching English as a Second Language Master's Program. So you apply to the university, go to graduate school application online and you apply. And then you say that you want to apply for MA TESOL degree. And then you submit your current TOEFL score. So even though the minimum requirement, the department may have a minimum, obviously have a minimum requirement. So you don't meet that requirement, but you put down your GPA, if you have done research, if you have done publications, if you have done any like a teaching experience back in Qatar, you can put everything and in your graduate application. And then you hit submit button and you submit. And you know that you did not meet the English language requirement. So the department, the English department, the TESOL department may get back to you and say that you're a great student, that we really like your grades, you meet our requirement, but that you are not meeting our English language proficiency requirement. So we recommend you to go through our graduate pathway program at Intensive English Language Program. At that point, that means you got the green signal from the department say they like you and they will admit you, but you need to do the English language program at Portland State University, the graduate pathway. So that is a very good news. If you're a student that really wanted to do this Masters of TESOL program, that's a great news. So what you need to do, the next step, that we ask you to apply to our Portland State University, the English language program. So you will get admitted to that, the program, and then we will give you the placement test and you will be placed in our graduate pathway program, depend on your score, depend on your placement test. And we do have a graduate advisor that help you with this process to navigate, because it can be a little complicated because there's a graduate school, there's a department, and there's an English language program who provide the pathway program for graduate students. And then there's you. So there's like 4 touching points easily. So this can be very confusing. So we have an advisor dedicated for this program. So she's great. She will be happy to help with this process. So you don't have to be, if you're a graduate student in the audience, you can email me and I can connect you with the right people. So, and then in graduate, the TESOL program, that as long as you applied and then you go through our graduate pathway program, as long as you finish with 3.5 your GPA, you complete the graduate pathway program, and then you could get fully admitted to Portland State MA TESOL program, for example. I'm just giving you an example. So this is a one way that you can get admission, even though you did not meet the cutoff score, we call, to that specific program. So I would recommend, if you're a graduate student, just get in touch with me, then we can explain more. And also there's another way. You maybe very well know that you need to have more English language help before you apply to graduate school. So you can simply come to our English language program or any other university in the US, their English language program, and you study, go through the levels, and you study. And if you're a graduate student, we have special courses and you can go through our graduate pathway program and then you applied to Portland State or you apply any other place in the US. At that point, if you're applying to any other place in the US, you may have to still take TOEFL or IELTS exam they required. But if you apply to Portland State, if you're academically qualified, the department like to admit you, they may say, as long as you have 3.5 GPA that from your ILP, your graduate pathway program, we'll admit you. You don't have to take TOEFL or IELTS. So that's the nice thing about if you do apply to Portland State. So I know this is a little bit not direct like undergraduate, because undergraduate, if you go through our undergraduate pathway program, it's guaranteed admission. But with graduate, you have to navigate a little bit, but you're not alone navigating. We have people in place to help you navigate. So these are, I know that we are getting kind of close to our time. I'm happy to share this presentation with everybody through Education USA. So these are some frequently asked questions about the graduate program, which I already covered. So I'm going to kind of skip those slides because I already covered, but I just wanted to give you these majors. So computer science, MA TESOL, social work, and music. If you like to pursue a degree in these 4 majors, and we have some others, but it's it is possible for you to get conditional admission and then go through our pathway program. So again, any check with any other graduate programs in US. They may sometimes not all their programs able to give you conditional admission, but there may be selective some programs they may able to. So communication is the key. So if another take-home message, today's presentation, don't afraid to ask questions. So communicate with the admission officers or graduate schools or department and ask these questions. Ask the question, do you offer conditional admission? So that's a good way to ask this question if you're a graduate students, graduate program seeking student in the audience. We have this video that I like to play. Hopefully it will work. And this is a graduate student who's in graduate pathway program.
Can you raise the audio, Samadra?
You can't see?
We see, but we can't hear. It's very, very low.
Yeah.
You're not able to see the video?
We can see the video, we can't hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why, because it's just a volume. I don't know, but the good news, this is in our website. So multiple ones, testimonial videos. So I would encourage you to, if you're interested, you can go and watch yourself. So I'm really sorry why the voice is not.
Sorry, if you share it again with the tick to sound of sharing computer sound, it will be solved.
So the computer sound, let's see.
You should share it again. Share the screen again.
Okay.
Please stop your screen share, and after that, share it again.
So I have the PowerPoint. So this is the video I want to play. So,
So you should stop your screen sharing and share it again. Share the screen again. And when you want to share again, it will be in the left. There's two places you should tick it.
can you hear?
I'm from Thailand. I have studied here for 4 months.
It's a bit better, but it's a bit low as well. Can you raise like the volume from your computer?
Welcome to Broadway Building. I like this.
Much more better. Thank you.
Here for 4 months. My major is nursing on PSU campus. I like to go to Broadway Building. Welcome to Broadway Building. I like this building because it had computer lab and place for study. It's very quiet space, so students should study here. And I will show you computer lab. Let's go. I study here because professor from other university told me and invited me to study here. She said that IELP can help international students to improve English skills. My favorite teacher is Kelly. She's very lovely teacher. When she teaches me, she always make students happy, and I love to study with her. Yes, I have faith in challenge. My challenging is very difficult to write English essay. So I solve this problem by make an appointment with tutor for correct my grammar and my writing. This is tutoring center. Tutors in the IELP, we can help you to write your paper and practice your English and studying for tests. You are welcome to our center. Oh, I usually go to IELP Learning Center or IELP Lounge, and then I make a new friend in there. If you want to improve your English skill, IELP is the best choice for you to select it. ถ้าคุณอยากจะพัฒนาภาษาอังกฤษ IELP เป็นที่ที่คุณไม่ควรพลาดค่ะ
Okay, hopefully you were able to see that.
Yes, thank you.
So just wanted to let you know, can you see the other PowerPoint right now?
No.
Okay, so I have to stop share and then reshare. Now you can see, right? Okay. So, and you can hear me okay, right? Okay, so I just wanted to let you know about that student a little bit. So actually she's, I met her a couple of years ago, and she's a PhD student in nursing. And we have a medical school close by. It's called OHSU, Oregon Health University. So she came to our program that hoping to study a PhD program in nursing at Oregon Health Science University, which is a prestigious university. So she came from Thailand University. So Oregon Health Science University don't have a English language program. So we have this partnership that students come to our English program, a graduate pathway program, and the students go through that pathway program and then get admitted to OHSU. So in this case, she didn't have to take TOEFL or IELTS again. So we do have those type of agreements with, we do have with University of Portland and then OHSU. So just let us know, and we may able to, even Portland State don't have a program that you want to study. We may have a partner in the community that you can study English with us and then matriculate to that specific university. So you maybe, we have a couple of minutes and you may wondering what's happening this summer or fall, right? So as you know that at Portland State University right now, this is the last week of spring term that we are remote learning. That means everything taught with a live instructor remotely. So the summer will be the same. The students will be learning remotely with a live instructor. So our summer program, if you wanted to stay in Qatar and wanted to take English classes to improve your English, June 22nd to August 13th. That's an 8-week program. We can give you a placement test while you're at home. And then you will study the same curriculum and in just like in-person classes, only thing the professor will be teaching through Zoom. So that's what's happening this summer. And fall term, we don't know yet what's happening, but it will be either face-to-face classes or remote classes, remote instructions, or mix of both. So we will know in a few weeks. And still we will have conversation partners and tutoring, all our offerings through this remote live sessions. And I would recommend, if you're looking for some other universities, it can be different from state to state, university to university. Please contact them and see, do they offer face-to-face classes, or it's a remote, or it could be online classes. Trying to get into the next slide. Okay. And also we have, so normally if you remember earlier in the presentation, I talked about that you don't need to come to US or go to another country to get a complete degree. If you wanted to go to US just for a few weeks or few months, we have programs available. So normally, usually before COVID and after, hopefully when the COVID situation is solved, that we have face-to-face, the students come to US, come to Portland State University, study for these short-term programs. We have 1-week programs. We have every summer we run 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 7 week, 11-week programs, and also month of February, March, we run like a 1-month program. So there's all these different types of short-term programs. So in this situation, because of the COVID, that some of our partner universities wanted us to do a remote short-term program. So we have actually 3 programs we are offering. Right now we have 2 program informations in this slide, but we just add one this week. So one is intensive communication. It's a 3 week program that you can do from Qatar. And English through Sustainability, this is another program. So the both programs, it's 20 hours per week. And then tuition is $750 US. And you can see program information, building communicative confidence, develop English speaking, daily, meet daily with a PSU conversation partner so you can practice English, small group presentations. So that's the intensive communication program. And then these are the program dates. And English through Sustainability, learn general sustainability concepts. So this is English, a class, yes, a class, but we have a content topic, which is sustainability. And Portland State is known for our sustainability effort around the world. And this program is an award-winning program. We got an award from United Nations, a face-to-face program, and we have been running for last 5 years. We have almost 100 students go through this program. We have summer, and then we have during our winter break. So just to give you an idea. And if you are a current student right now, again, you can be 17 years old to participate. And since you're home, if you're right now in the audience 16-year-old, that you can send me an email. I can provide my email address, then we can make an exception and accept you. Normally we admit 17 plus because of we don't want younger student to be on campus. But you're home right now, so the safety is not a concern. Yeah, so, and this is the schedule look like, 2 hours of active learning with a live instructor and 1 hour of conversation partner, 1 hour of small group work. So it's a 4 hours per day and then 5 days a week. Okay, and this is my contact information. So I'm happy to help anybody. If you have any questions, please email me. And then we have a WhatsApp number, and also we do have a list of social media that you can connect with us. Yep, and that's all I have, and I'm really grateful for Education USA. I have no words to explain how thankful we are, especially with the COVID that we can't travel. We normally travel around the world to meet students. So hopefully we can do in the future with Qatar, but it's amazing that you provided this opportunity for us. So I'm really grateful for that. And I also want to tell you people at the audience that if the Education USA advisors have amazing knowledge that they can provide you across the border, all the universities, that information to use. So, and they may very well have a library too with catalogs and things like that. So just please connect with your Education USA. And they're great people that they have a lot of knowledge. I may have only knowledge about my university, so they're the experts. And thank you.
Thank you, Sumadra, for that wonderful presentation. It was very informative. We just want to let you know that we do, to our audience, that we do have sessions coming up weekly that have to do with a variety of topics. The next one will be June 17th on applying for science technology for STEM fields. Then another one, again with Portland State, about English language options. And then we'll be doing one about Toefl and preparing for the GRE. We will continue with more sessions into July, so please follow us on Facebook to be aware of what's coming up. And let us know what else you would like to have offered, if you have any ideas. Thank you. And then at the end of June, we're doing a Get Ready for University Life for students who have already been accepted or are actually physically traveling to the United States, or many of you will be starting your fall semester online. So we're going to be doing a series of sessions that have to do with preparing to study in the United States. We're going to start by inviting a professor to talk about expectations from students in the virtual learning environment. And we're also going to have a student who experienced the semester of virtual learning, and she's going to share her experiences with us. That will be on June 30th. And again, then we'll have more sessions following that on a variety of topics that have to do with getting ready to study in the United States. And now, if anybody has any questions, you can type them in the chat box. Melissa, I had one question, Samudra. I was wondering, when you were talking about the 3-week short programs in the summer, I was wondering about the timing, with the different timings with the virtual programming. How does that work for students?
Really good question. So right now, we have designed this program, both programs, because we have partner universities in Japan and Korea.
Okay.
So we have accommodate for their time zone. So we will be delivering Portland time at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So I'm not sure what's the time in Qatar, but that works for a lot of our Asian students. And we have a partner in Colombia and Brazil. So that I'm not sure for Qatar, but if we have enough students, if we get from Middle East region, we will definitely open a session that accommodate for their perfect time zone.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I wanted to add, we just added writing, a writing course, that short-term program, 3-week program. So if anybody wanted to know about that program, just email me. It's a writing program.
Thank you.
And if you have a, just answer a little bit follow-up for your question, if you have a school or university, you know that they wanted to have this type of program, as long as you have like about 10 students, we can deliver anytime or even any topic you want related to English language or writing or any specifics. So.
Wonderful, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Samudra, for your presentation. It's wonderful and it's very informative. We got some questions through our Facebook page. So one of the followers asked this question: if someone attends a community college for 2 years, how many years do they need to finish the bachelor's? And the other question is about finance. You answered the question about finance related to English language, but I'd like to let people know that there would be future sessions about financing your studies. So please keep an eye on our Facebook page, the Embassy Facebook page, Twitter, and all the social media platforms. And there will be lots of upcoming sessions on different themes. And of course, some of them will be about financing. And not just our sessions, there are always sessions done regionally by some other centers. And in fact, a few days ago, there was a session on financing or study in general. But if you'd like, Samudra, to answer the question about the community college.
Yeah, so the community college, I would really highly recommend that when you find a community college that you wanted to attend, that you ask for transfer agreement. What does that mean? You can ask from community college right now before even you apply, what are the universities you have transfer agreements? So that means, for example, I gave a presentation with Korea Education USA with the community college in partnership with Shoreline Community College in Seattle last week. So Shoreline Community College and Portland State, for example, we have a partnership. So that means we have a transfer agreement with. So not just these two universities or two schools, there are like hundreds of thousands of these agreements. That means if you attend a community college, all your credits will be transferred to that university. So it's upfront. So the students don't waste money taking just random classes. So they're in a plan. So they have a study plan, transfer plan. So every single class they're taking, the university they are going is taking those credits. So that's how you make sure that all your work at 2-year institution will transfer to a 4-year college without you losing anything. So if you're able to transfer that all that 2 years worth of credits to that 4-year school, technically it's 2 more years. So as long as you follow the plan. So the most important tip today, that you ask the community college which universities you have transfer agreements, and then you'll have a conversation about the transfer process and making sure the goal is for you not to lose any credits, because that's kind of throwing your money away. So I would recommend that you do your research and have a plan. When you go to a community college, you have a plan. I wanted to transfer to Portland State University, or I wanted to go to UC Berkeley or NYU, whatever the university you want, and then work with the community college if they have a transfer agreement, and then make sure you are in a plan those 2 years, in a strict plan, that you are able to transfer all the credits if you get accepted to that university. And they may have agreements, it's a guarantee admission if you finish your plan type of thing. And answer to the financing. So for example, that at Portland State University, we do have scholarships. And while you study in English, for example, pathway program, you're not able to use the scholarship money. But even if you are a pathway student, that if you get admitted to Portland State University and if you're academically qualified, if you get some scholarship money from Portland State, you can apply soon as you fully matriculate to Portland State University, right after the pathway program. So you may have to wait 6 months to get your scholarship money, but it's still you're eligible for all the scholarships. So that's kind of the Portland State side. And there are many universities offer scholarships. So I would, again, without applying, you don't know you will be getting the scholarship. So the applying is the most important thing. And the many universities, they may ask you to do a separate application or write a statement or do an essay. So I would, if you're really looking for a scholarships, I would do, it's a research and figure out, and deadlines are important. So those are my tips.
Great, thank you so much. So we answered Saud El-Kuwari's question on Facebook. We got also another question or inquiry from Nuar, joining us from Kurdistan. So he is asking how to study masters.
So the master's degree depend on what you want to study. So I would recommend that first identify the program you wanted to study. So I mean, and then look for what are the schools offering that program? So then have a conversation, identify maybe 7 or 8 universities. So I don't know what's your major, you wanted to study your master's. For example, if it is chemistry, you identify, and the other thing, which state you wanted to go. The US is a big country. So the location, it's really important to think about if you have a family, you have a support system or friends. So it's not just picking a university and going there. Other location is a requirement. I mean, location is how that related to you, because you travel in thousands of miles. So you needed to have some type of support system if it is possible. I know there are students find that support system when they come to the US. But if you have a family, if you know they live in Arizona and they're happy to help you navigate your first couple of weeks, that I would think that's a plus point for you to look at schools in Arizona. And also the universities do provide a lot of support when you come. But so that's a one tip, that you look at your support system of friends, that where they are. And then the other important thing, your major, which universities, because not all the universities offering all the programs. So, and also ranking is not the only thing that you should be considering, but specifically if you want to do chemistry, for example, you just look at least where they at in ranking systems. Again, that's not the only thing. They may have again, the other tip I want to give you, if you're in a STEM major or like any research related master's or PhD, you should look for somebody, a professor that fit your same research interest. And you can read their bios online and their publications, and you can figure out who match with your specific research, and that you can contact the professor before even you apply to a university and show your interest. So master's, PhD levels, those student-professor conversations are very important before you even apply to a graduate school.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, and we would like to remind you about the slide that we had at the very beginning, which talks about the 5 steps on the Education USA website. So we really recommend that you go through these and read as much as you can, because it tells you what steps you need to follow until you get to the stage at which you have a number of options. Then you need to limit those options. As Samudra mentioned, it depends on your priorities as well as your needs. So depends on your major, depends on lots of factors. So you need to go through these, go to the website, read about the 5 steps. And if you need more support, you can reach to us. You can see on the screen the slides. This slide has our Facebook page. You can talk to us on Twitter, and you have doha@educationusa.org. This is our email. You can shoot us an email and we are ready to help. These are also our work emails. So my emails and my colleague's Paula email as well. And Samudra already shared her information as well. Feel free to email us if you have questions. We are ready to help you. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to meeting you in other sessions. Thanks a lot, Samudra, again, for your efforts. We hope that this session was helpful to all those who joined us. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Do you know how many people were in the Facebook session at all?
So, sorry, just 1 second, because
We're still in the
Yeah.
meeting.
so So we still have some people, and in fact, some people they want to be admitted. Thanks all for joining us.
Still up.
So
We're
I'll
still
send
up.
you the report statistics as well as some photos, Samudra, okay?
Can you stop the
Yeah.
live streaming?
Yeah.
Thank you.